America is truly a land of wonders. A colorful landscape as beautiful and diverse as the populations that inhabit it. A nation that arose from a melting pot of immigrants, whose sons and daughters joined the soldiers who would defend their new home. Now, America is unveiling a new wonder to behold, a museum of national stature to honor all of the soldiers who have served in the proudest fighting force in history, the United States Infantry. This is the brand new National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center in Columbus, Georgia. This $91 million, 190,000 square foot facility located at the edge of Fort Benning, the home of the U.S. Infantry, is now available to be the focal point of your next military reunion. This will be the reunion that you and the other members of your group will remember from now on, because the new National Infantry Museum's amazing technology will make your military memories come alive as never before. At the entrance of the museum, the imposing statue of a young infantry leader in the famous "Follow Me" pose will welcome visitors and set the stage for an experience unlike any other museum. Your journey begins as the infantryman's ends, traversing the last 100 yards. Each step of the 30-foot wide ramp will recount the major battles of the infantry's storied history. Multi-dimensional environments, huge-scale projections, immersive sound, theatrical lighting, and a stirring musical score will bring the scenes to life, transporting visitors to the front lines. At the end of the gradually ascending ramp, the sounds of marching boots and a thundering drill sergeant lure you into the Fort Benning Gallery. It is here you'll learn about the training that transforms boys into men, recruits into warriors. Leaving the Fort Benning Gallery, you'll find you've risen a full story and are overlooking the museum's soaring central gallery from atop a grand staircase. The huge central gallery will be a hub of activity and a space for functions and events. Lining the central gallery are portals to 6 areas in American history, from the Revolutionary War to the present. The galleries will feature interactive exhibits such as combat locator maps, where you could select the very spot where you took part in a battle. There will also be immersion experiences that will carry you to another place and time. You may trudge through the confining walls of a World War I trench, with barbed wire overhead and a new threat around every corner. In another gallery, you'll walk through a dense, steamy jungle in Vietnam, sweating the uncertainty of fighting a nearly invisible foe. Over time, the accomplishments of infantrymen have been celebrated in many ways. In the new National Infantry Museum, the Hall of Valor and the Ranger and Officer Candidate School Halls of Honor will proudly tell these heroes' stories. But the experience does not end at the museum's doors. Visitors who've been moved by what they've seen may want to reflect a while in Patriot Park. A Walk of Honor will recognize dozens of infantry units with memorial monuments and special markers. The walk will be anchored by a 250-foot jump tower, an icon of the airborne infantry training experience. Just off the walk, visitors may encounter a series of life-sized vignettes depicting various infantry experiences. From troop transport by helicopter into the combat zones of Vietnam, to the rush of Bradley fighting vehicles through the wind and grit of the desert wars. For many visitors, the journey to discovery will begin at this prominent feature of Patriot Park, a 7-acre parade ground where 2,500 friends and family members from all across the country will watch their loved ones graduate from infantry and basic training. The inspirational ceremonies will help define the legacy their loved one has joined. Just beyond the parade ground is the World War II Company Street. Its wooden buildings resurrect a time during the war when more than 16 million Americans were trained to defend our nation. After the war, most of these temporary camps were torn down. But here, you'll see a cluster of restored buildings, including a mess hall, supply room, orderly room, and barracks. The headquarters and sleeping quarters actually were used by General George Patton prior to being deployed to North Africa. Tanks used during World War II are lined up and ready for your inspection. Company Street also includes a restored chapel that will be available for weddings, baptisms, or memorial services. Everything you've heard about so far will be absolutely free to visitors of the new museum. Visitors to Soldier Center, both young and old, might like to try their hand at firing an M16 in a training simulator just like the soldiers use, or riding in a virtual Bradley fighting vehicle. Or they might work up the courage to face the museum's airborne experience. A combination of media and special effects will give the visitor the impression of jumping from a plane into a combat zone. Whether stepping into the boots of the infantryman or researching the evolution of Army doctrine, visitors will be drawn to the museum's primary mission as an institution of learning. Here, young soldiers will learn about the legacy they have just joined. School children will learn about the price the infantry has paid for the freedoms we all enjoy. And business leaders will learn how Army values of duty, honor, and integrity help shape American success stories. The new National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center in Columbus, Georgia is ready to help host your next military gathering. Nowhere else is there a community that so opens its arms to the military family. Southern hospitality is alive and well in Columbus, and its citizens have a special place in their hearts for the soldiers of the U.S. Infantry, because Fort Benning has, since 1918, shaped the personality and prosperity of Columbus. Come to Columbus for your next military reunion and discover good friends, good food, and attractive accommodations to suit every budget. Ready to find out more? We're waiting for your call.